Hey Cancer, welcome to Sweet Tea Astrology and Tarot. My name is Erica. Welcome to the channel. I'm so happy that you found me. This is your Mars Retrograde Tarot Scope video where I'm going to talk about the energy that's at play, pull some cards for you, and try to help you co-create with the energy that is at play, or at least help you understand what's going on around you so you can co-create to the best of your ability. All right, so Cancer. This Mars transit is occurring between your 8th and 7th houses. The 8th house is the house traditionally ruled by Scorpio. It's the house of life, death, and rebirth. It's the house of major transformation, major change, major metamorphosis. It is also the house of other people's money. It's the house of sexuality. It's the blood and guts of it all. It's the stuff that you don't just freely share with anybody. It's a very intimate house. The 7th house is the house that's traditionally ruled by Libra. It's the house of your partnerships, relationships, and the people that you have a regular bond with. It doesn't necessarily have to be sexual. It can be, but it doesn't have to be. And this 8th and 7th house is going to be squared at the end of July by your 5th house, and that's Jupiter and Scorpio. The 5th house is traditionally ruled by Leo. So we've got Scorpio, Libra, and Leo energy going on, just archetypically the rulers of the houses that it's playing out in. Could be that you're going to be a parent. Could be that you're going to be a grandparent. Could be that there is, I hope not, some loss when it comes to somebody that you love, or a friend, somebody in your social sphere, because the 5th house is the house of your creative endeavor, your creative spark. It's the house of your children. It's the house of your romance and where you go to blow off steam, where you go to feel like a kid. So, yeah, I've got cards popping. I'm going to cut. We're going to see what's going on for you, Cancer. Bottom card and the top 3. All right, you got the Ace of Cups. Oh, my goodness. Okay, this is a powerful, powerful transit for y'all. And I say that because the 3 cards that I pulled for you for clarity are major arcana. Let's get into it. The first card, the bottom of the deck, is the Ace of Cups. Aces always represent potential. They represent divine intervention because it's the hand of God coming in. It's an initiation point. It's a beginning. It's a start point. The swords represent, the cups represent water signs. That's Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. You are a Cancer. I feel like this is representative for the reading for my Cancers out there. But this also deals with, like, your cup runneth over with compassion. And there's a level of intimacy that's associated with this card that doesn't normally come about at the very beginning. It could be the beginning of intimacy. It could be an initiation point of intimacy. I can't help but also notice that the cup is running over and it looks like tears falling. Just because it's a beginning doesn't mean that it's necessarily one that is a happy beginning. Okay? That's not to say that it's not, but you're having this Mars transit through the 8th house, and with the tears, it could be loss. I don't want it to be for you, but I feel like I have to warn you with everything that I'm given. It's a very gray background. There is a cloud in it, in the sky, or in the poof of the hand. I would say that there's always silver lining to every cloud that we have. And if you need any more inspiration than that, go listen to Touch of Grey from the Grateful Dead. The Ace, though, this is a beginning point. This is a new start in one way or another. It could be that you have a child that you haven't really talked to, or somebody in your social life that you haven't really seen. You could be going back to like a high school reunion and just being overwhelmed with the the compassion and the level of intimacy that you have now with those people as you have aged as opposed to when you were kids. It's interesting how when we're kids, we are, it's not that we're completely different from the adults that we're going to be, but people do change, and allow them the grace and the space to change. The first card that we're going to talk about for the top three is the Empress card. This is the number 3. 3 is the symbology of Gemini. And Gemini also has an 8th house Mars transit. So if any of you have like Gemini grandkids, it may be the truth. Or if you've got Gemini kids, grandkids, whatever, it could be that they're becoming a parent. I say that because this card is very much about the production. It also is, the Empress card is ruled by Venus, or it represents Venus. And you can see that you can see the Venus glyph on her little heart shield right here. She is very abundant. She is able to produce on a level that other people in her same circumstance can't. I like to think of this woman as a pimproviser. What I mean by that is being able to take the things that she has around her, food, resources, decorations, and make what would just be kind of menial or not very, just hashtag struggle, and making that struggle softer somehow, making it a little more comfortable, making it a little more easy to deal with, a little more easy to swallow. What's interesting is that Venus rules Libra, and you are having this transit through your 7th house, which is the house that's traditionally ruled by Libra. So you may be dealing with a female Libra in your world. It could be communication from a female Libra, because 3 also deals with communication. But she's fertile. She's very fertile. The second card is the Moon card. You are ruled by the Moon, Cancer. Every 28 days, you go through a little spell, even if you don't feel it, but I'm sure you do. You ask yourself, why the hell do I feel so crazy when there's a full moon? It's because it's your ruling planet. I mean, everybody feels crazy, but if the moon can control the tides and the water on this planet, and we're 80, 90% water, being human beings, what makes you think it can't control you, or at least have some sort of influence on you? The moon is the 18th card of the major arcana, and it represents the sign of Pisces. I also think that it represents you, Cancer, because it's your ruling luminary. This card deals with following your instincts. Following your basic instincts, following your gut, understanding that those things come to you for a reason. Cancer, you are very intuitive. If you listen to your gut, you know what's going on. You're always strangely right about stuff. How did you know that? I don't know, I just do. Right? Don't go howling at the moon, though. All right? Watch your boundaries. Be careful. Don't let your emotions take over. And avoid taking the bait. Avoid overreactions, because Cancer, that's something that you're prone to, darlings. Avoid brand new sexual encounters, because they could break down on you really quickly. The final card is the Devil card. The Devil is the 15th card of the major arcana. It represents the zodiac sign of Capricorn, which is where Mars is retrograding. And Mars deals with sexual intimacy and lust. And they're tied to one another in one way or another. They're tied. The devil card represents your self-imposed limitations, the things that it's really the devil being in the details and you letting those details get away from you. It could be that you are driven by demons. It could be that what you're doing or how you're acting or in the way that you're acting out, if you are acting out, because not all cancers do, but some do. If you're acting out, it's probably because of this Capricornian energy right here that is flexing on itself to you, if you will. I feel like this is the drug, sex, and rock and roll that you either want to hide or you don't want to admit to, or that you are longing for in some way, but aren't able to fulfill it. The devil is anything that brings you down. The devil is anything that makes you compromise yourself or your integrity, whatever it is. It can be a situation, it can be a person, it can be a thing, it can be the money that you want to earn. Whatever it is that you're compelled to do, even when you know it's not necessarily the best for you. That's the devil we're talking about. So we've got the Empress, the Moon, and the Devil. I know that we've got eclipses coming up. I can't remember what all signs because there's partial eclipses for the solar, partial lunar. It's like three, like one full eclipse, total eclipse, and then the other two are like partials. I want to say one's in Aquarius. I think one might be in Cancer. Don't hold me to that. I'll be doing the videos. If I'm misspeaking, I'm sorry I'm misspeaking. But it looks like there's going to be some impacts big time on your life between your relationships with other people and the intimacy of the cycles of life, death, and rebirth and transformation. Transformation is something that goes on in a very quiet, dark space. It's not something that happens in front of everyone. Think about Superman, all right? He didn't go dress out from Clark Kent to Superman in front of everybody. He did it in a telephone booth, which I don't know how many of y'all know what that is anymore, but he did it undercover. Batman does it undercover, right? I feel like there's either going to be a new romance that comes about that ends up being not so good for you. I feel like there's a situation that could come about where there is a pregnancy or pregnancies, something to that effect, where there is a really fertile ground, female, whatever. Your heart is fertile, the love is fertile, and it's like you're overrun by your emotions in one way or another. But follow your gut. I mean, you can't not do that, Cancer. That's what water signs do. I'm a Scorpio rising. I can't not follow my gut. If I was told to not follow my gut, I would freak the hell out. Ace of Cups is an initiation point. So, I mean, this is a tricky, tricky little transit for y'all with the houses that it's playing out in. I know that for my particular situation, I have a Cancerian parent that I am not necessarily estranged from, but we don't do a whole lot of talking. And I can see this very much resonant for the situation in my life for that. It doesn't mean that it's your situation, but it definitely plays out for me in my world. Let the tears fall. The moon can be very emotional. It may be that you're very, very emotional around the full moons. Pay attention to the lunar cycles. Tomorrow we have a new moon in Taurus. Be careful. Guard your heart. Guard your gut. And guard the stuff that you don't want anybody else being able to get into and make you look like the devil for. Watch your boundaries. Boundaries may be an issue. very watery and very earthy. It goes from, it's like mudslide kind of stuff. You know what I mean? For some of you, it's going to be a good transit. For some of you, it is going to be a not so good transit. It just depends on what's going on in your personal chart. But this is what I've got for a general reading for y'all, and I hope that you enjoyed it, Cancer. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you already have, I thank you from the bottom of my very grateful heart. I appreciate you sticking it out and being here with me. Again, for your reminder, the 8th house is the house of Scorpio, the 7th house is the house of Libra, and the 5th house is the house of Leo. Libra is ruled by Venus. And we're going to have a Venus retrograde later this year. So that could also be speaking to that. I haven't done all that research on it yet. I know it's coming up. I know it's after the eclipses, and I know it's after this Mars retrograde clears its shadow, but I'm trying to do these videos in as best order as I can to make most sense for y'all for the transits that are upcoming or closest to us. So that's my intent anyways. I hope you're well. Please take care of yourself, and please be kind to yourself, Cancer. Save some of that kindness for others, because we're all going through private battles in our world that some of us may never speak about to another living soul. Work that fertile energy, follow your gut, and don't let the devil be in the details. I love y'all. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye.